Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know U.S. Constitution protects all lives matter. U.S. Constitution protects all lives matter is not showing up on some people's pages. We don't know why, but we can figure out why. This morning's talk is about the U.S. constitutional rights of the United States American citizens, which is vested if you're born in this country and you are a U.S. citizen, and also the threat of the Chinese, where the people have been so complacent because of the past Democrat administration and the present Democrat administration. That's topic number 2, because that's going to be in-depth and lengthy. Today, we're going to talk about the 7th Amendment, which is a vested right to a trial by jury demand of your peers. When there is material fact in dispute, a federal judge has no choice but to order the complaint responded to and order trial by jury. And in the civil trial, they could have 7 people. In a criminal trial, they must have 12, so you have to pick 13, the 13th being the alternative juror. Then such issue is settled as a matter of constitutional law, and naturally whatever statute is cited for the individual civil rights violation under 42 U.S.C. 1983 or Title 5 U.S.C. 552 AG 1CG 4E5 or any other applicable statute, whether it be Title 7 U.S.C. 499A, which is the PACA statute USDA, and also under the American Disabilities Act, so on and so forth. And then you have the most triable one is a trial by jury of your peers for Title 18 violations, which is criminal nature. You have the right to be judged by your peers when it comes time that you're indicted for a criminal act. You are granted discovery. You're granted the right to issue voir dire questionnaires to the jurors. You have a right to seek expulsion of the judge if there's a personal vendetta or personal involvement with you or the prosecutor or the complainants themselves, and or you have other issues at bar. This is factual. It is defined in the Constitution. That's why you have federal rules of civil procedure and federal criminal rules of procedure. Therefore, everything is laid out and must be followed in sync. It is a well-oiled machine that some of these rats out there today are trying to change. This system they want to change is because they're trying to make a dictator-style communist government, as you've seen with Barack Obama's advisement to Black Lives Matter, where they came out forward and says they're trained Marxist organizers. You've seen the disruption of the economy during those riots under a false pretense. Excuse me. So therefore, we know what the situation is. We know why Barack Obama and the Obama-Biden agenda is in play. This is leading up to the talk now. Admiral Studman, who is a naval intelligence chief, is advising that the United States citizens are naive. Well, I had the opportunity to work on several projects overseas. One is the pulling out of the United States Navy out of the Philippines, heading into Guam, and several other areas that were of interest under the Bush administration when he was in office. He was a good leader. That's George Bush Sr., not Jr. And he had the respect of every world leader, not like we have today. When Air Force One lands today. You don't know if it's going to get blown up. You don't know if they're going to throw eggshells on it. You don't know if they're going to throw paint on it. You don't know what's going to go on. You've seen what the Democrats have done in the past through tantrums in Congress, through implied threats at President Donald Trump at the time, and these are members of Senate and Congress, only to have them later on get indicted or under investigation. As you know, as I am a Republican and the founder of U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter, who was assaulted and attacked by unknown members in 2018 from Black Lives Matter movement. That still does not protect nothing anyway. I really don't care. Cops are attacked, you see what they got. If an Italian-American organization did what Black Lives Matter did, conspiracy to murder under the RICO Act would have been applied. So therefore, we know who's standing behind these people. But I'm going to give you one better. In 2012, when I was indicted by a grand jury, all because I filed a FOIA, which would have uncovered a very diabolical plan being hatched. An assistant U.S. attorney, Damian Williams, who happens to be the U.S. attorney now, who was awarded for such good deeds by now President Joseph Biden, who was then the vice president. So now we have a track record and we have a pattern. But COINTELPRO was just coming back into play in a very serious nature when I filed that individual FOIA complaint, because they were withholding documents, cell phone records, and stuff like that. And I have case law, Rizzoli versus the Federal Bureau of Prisons, 230 Fed 3rd 371, D.C. Circuit, 2001, reversed and remanded because of the FBI was withholding documents. And the reason why they were withholding documents because they were false. But the Third Circuit in 225 Fed 3rd, 650, the Third Circuit 2001, reversed and remanded and ordered me released from prison. This was a serious blow to the FBI scheme of COINTELPRO. This was a semi-enlightenment that they have citizens out there who are versed. Unfortunately for them, I went to law school while I was in the military, the United States Navy, studied constitutional law, studied political science, studied criminal law, studied criminology, forensics criminology, intro to Psych 101. So again, I am not a novice to this, but there has been several cases that have been covered up. I posted some stuff yesterday. But in the news today is the Navy intelligence chief highlighting the fact that the people have been duped into compliance and also stupidity. All this was at the hands of the Democrats administration. This Democrat administration is very diabolical, is not respected by any world leaders, and not even respected by a lot of their own citizens. It's sad. Our country is at a critical point. I don't profess violence and never will preach violence, because that's left up to Barack Obama and his advisement to his two domestic terrorist organizations that he advises, a Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa. So Republicans were nice and quiet. But we can go and there is a, a sketch that we are painting to show that Republicans are being isolated, they're being targeted, and they're being put out there. Targeted by the Democrat society and the Democrat administration. The Democrat society, we should call them communists, since they choose to try to change the laws themselves to suit their needs, which the United States Supreme Court many times over says there is no agency, corporation, or association that can manifest a law to suit their needs or policy to suit their needs. That is against the United States Constitution's 14th Amendment, due process of law and equal application of protection of the law. The First Amendment is freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of religion. The freedom of choice is trying to be taken away and whittled down by forcing you to take the vaccines. And as you know, the vaccines have committed genocide, basically, like Dr. Death did to the Italian and Jewish people during World War II with the cyanide pellets that was used in Auschwitz and Krakow. We can compare Dr. Mengele to Dr. Fauci, since Dr. Fauci was put in under COINTELPRO into the Trump administration to undermine Donald Trump. That's part of COINTELPRO. Destabilization of a targeted group, association, corporation, organization, or people in that matter. And as you've seen, Barack Obama's illegal advisement to BLM and Antifa caused the destabilization of the U.S. economy, caused tyranny. It caused Antifa and allowed Antifa to attack and take part of a city over in the Northwest, not just in one state, but two states, several areas. So therefore, what I say as the founder of U.S. Constitution protects all lives matter is not only protected under the U.S. Constitution, it is advising you of your U.S. constitutional rights. Maybe this is why I was targeted by the Jersey City Police in 2015 when I allied myself with Donald Trump before the Republican Party in Hudson County's party at a meeting that we had, which there's several photographs of very, very astute Republicans from our area while I lived in New Jersey and was part of the Republican Party in Hudson County. Unfortunately, I was asked to basically challenge the chairman by a person by the name of Russell and a woman. And unfortunately, they met their demise later on when a Democrat ran them over, which I was supposed to be with them that evening. Unfortunately, they passed away. Russell, God rest your soul, and may you watch over our country and our U.S. Constitution. The lady's name, I'm sorry, I forgot at this time because I'm on medication and stuff due to my spine and also being ran over by a car after I got beat up by Jersey City Police in 2015, which is being litigated at this time in federal court and in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia. So therefore, we, the people for the people, will prevail. We need the people out there. We need the people to be schooled, but most of all, we need you to be aware of your constitutional rights. Your vested constitutional rights are very important, that they should not be eroded, diluted, and polluted. The present administration is doing a pretty good job of that. But remember one thing, the U.S. Constitution protects all lives, and all lives matter. We need to have the United States citizens aware of the threats that are coming. The threats are by communist countries. The threats are by these individual groups that have cells that are allied with these communist countries. Unfortunately, we have some politicians in the Democrat Party that are allied with these people. Stephen Fulop, mayor of Jersey City, signed a pact with Barack Obama of allegiance. Barack Obama is allied to BLM. BLM is allied with Iran, China, and Russia. Where is Joseph Biden allied to? Ukraine, where 475 soldiers had been captured and found to have the insignia of the third rank embossed on their skin, tattooed. That shows you the loyalty to the Nazi Party. Do you want Marxism, fascism, and communists in your country? I don't think so. So please, wake up, smell the coffee. Look at the borders today. The borders today are the situation and are the problem. Hundreds of Chinese nationalists allied to the Communist Party have been being caught coming across the border. Several Islamic terrorists have been caught, or people have been allied to Islamic terrorist groups, have been caught coming across the border. How many unknown members are here? How many unknown sleeper cells are here? We know what happens when the sleeper cells are activated. The World Trade Center was brought down by these people. So therefore, they dealt a horrible blow to the American public and Americans' people. Don't ever forget that day. 9/11 is a very important occurrence within the United States of America's history. We cannot erase that. Black Lives Matter cannot erase that, like they're trying to erase Christopher Columbus. We, the people, for the people, by the people, have the opportunity to stop, look, listen, and voice your opinion at these situations and occurrences. The American people did not invent slavery. They did not incorporate slavery in the beginning. It was the British and the Africans themselves. The British at that time ruled 45% of the known world, including Jamaica, where the largest slave auction in the Northern Hemisphere, North America, is there. They have a museum to where the slaves were auctioned in Kingston, Jamaica. And they have the museum in Cape Town, Africa. And still to this day, on the continent of Africa, country of Turkey, you have slave auctions. So again, look, listen, observe, and voice your opinion. Ask questions to your senators and your congresspeople. They have the answers, or they will get the answers for you. I commend Congresswoman Maliotakis for intervening on my behalf, since I am currently temporarily disabled and cannot work. But I'm being given a lot of trouble trying to maintain my finances because of people taking my documents. They broke into my house. They broke into the workplace of U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter, took legal files in the middle of the litigation, smashed my laptop, my iPad, and what happened? Nothing. What are you going to do? They stole my briefcase out of my home, litigation in it. What are you going to do? Nothing. You report it, you make a report, and that's it. Falls on deaf ears. So again, but the police are on top of stuff. Thank you very much. God bless you, and have a beautiful day.